And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that brutal OST. I was about to come back in, but I just realized that I had no water left, so I just went, got a refill, topped up, hydrated my hydras, and now we are getting ready to dive into our next qualifying match. Now, these two upcoming series, both ArT versus HiGhDrA as well as DNS versus Mana, have already, or these are going to be replay casts. They're a couple of minutes old. They happened as we were casting Mindle VK versus Fiant. They were happening at the same time, and the replays have been provided, so we can dive on into this. So we can, of course, get into some PvPs, get into some casting. Predictions in the chat will be open. The only people that know who the winners and who the losers are the players themselves, as I have no idea what I'm going to be getting into. So predictions will be open in the chat. You can place your bets here on who you believe will be taking this series in the end. We have our first PvP. It is going to be ArT versus HiGhDrA. Let's go. Let us go, followed by DNS and Mana. We'll get there. We will get there. As predictions are open and we are diving into game number 1. Let's go. Our PvP is upon us. Game 1 is going to be taking place on Ancient Cistern. Once again, one of the older maps in the map pool. We spoke about this before, but again, we do use an extended map pool here for OSC. So we include maps like Ancient Cistern, like 2000 Atmospheres, and Gresfan as well. It's been a while since we've casted Gresfan. Okay, bring it back, Bobby. Bring it back. Kipped. As here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have our pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ArT. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player. Ooh, blue Protoss representing Team Roddy from the land of the Netherlands. It is HiGhDrA. We go. Again, if you're in the chat, you do have a couple of minutes to place your bets on who you think will take it in the end in this Protoss versus Protoss. I do not envy you. PvP is a little bit unpredictable. It can be a little bit up in the air. I do give the edge to ArT overall. Edge is the more established player. He's got a couple more accolades under his belt. Has a little more achievements under his belt as well. One of the stronger Protoss players in Poland. But we'll see if HiGhDrA can cause an upset here. I want to believe that in a PvP, anything is possible. As now we do have a 2-gate opener here from ArT. Likewise, a 2-gate opener from HiGhDrA as well. Probe going to be dipping in. We do see the Cyber Core on the way. And so far, everyone is mirroring each other. No one has gone for any kind of fake proxy pylon. We do have our second pylon here from HiGhDrA. Likewise, ArT throwing down his second pylon in his main base as well. Very important to point this out that, again, there is no proxy, there is no hidden tech. Everything is above board for the time being. We're honorable Protosses here. Very honorable. For now. Like, I expect cheese and aggression later on down the line. Don't get me wrong. It's coming. And we do have our openers. It's going to be double Adept here from HiGhDrA. It's going to be Stalker Sentry from ArT. Here we go. So with Stalker Sentry, this is going to be a much more safer opener. The downside here is you don't have a lot of DPS when it comes to head-to-head fights, but the upside is with Sentries, you can gain the Hallucination. With Hallucination Scout, you will see everything that's going on. You'll confirm the fact that HiGhDrA is going for a Robo. Oh my.
Your pylon is under attack. Help me.
Oh, I've never heard the Tastosis announcer pack before. But we do have a pylon here going to be delaying the expansion of his opponent. HiGhDrA going for a one base all in. There we go. We have it. We have a robo on the way. Third gateway as well. HiGhDrA is doubling down here with his all in, and ArT is in the dark until the hallucination moves out. That's the thing. We do have the ability to scout. We do have the ability to confirm what is going on. Adept's going to be dipping forward. There's that hallucination. Adepts will be threatening a shade, and they do get in. Ooh, ArT slipping up a little bit here. The Adepts, they get into the main base. 2 Adepts do one-shot probes. 1, 2, 3 probes going to be going down. Going to get a third, a fourth, and a fifth even. Oh my god. Can we get a 6th? Can we get a 7th? Not quite. 7 workers yet they'll survive. Meanwhile, the hallucination gets in, and we see everything. We see the third gateway and the robo, as well as the lack of expansion. ArT is now aware of what's going on, and he has to prepare. We need shield batteries, a defensive robo in production here for ArT. With this defensive robo, we can start up our own immortal production. Second pylon here as a part of the ramp. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a second shield battery. It may even... Oh, guys, we shaded again. Oh, my God. HiGhDrA, he gets eyes on the robo, of course. Looking at the units lost tab, 7 probes have gone down for 2 Adepts. Really good trade here from HiGhDrA. And now we're pushing out. The economy of ArT has been stifled. We have 1 shield battery, 1 overcharge is going to be available as well. Immortals, defensive immortal is going to be on the way. Meanwhile, HiGhDrA is pushing. Looking at the army tab, we have HiGhDrA with the lead in Stalkers. He has sentries for force fields. Force fields are going to be key here because there's no blink. There's no way to avoid those force fields. Here we go. We are going to be committing. Prism has arrived. Reinforcements are on the way. HiGhDrA pushing in. Show us the force fields. So far, slicing up the army. The Immortal stuck behind this, though. Yeah, overcharge is going to be popped. HiGhDrA, can he hold on? Oh, he is being zoned away. The Immortals, they can't get involved. The Stalker's getting picked off. We are out of energy, though. We are out of force fields. From the side of HiGhDrA, I should say. It looks like ArT, he may just have a little bit too much. The shield battery has run out of energy. HiGhDrA getting on top of the Immortal, but a second Immortal does arrive. Oh, 1 goes down. We shut down the War Prism, and it looks like ArT has enough. Well, does he? Oh, it's going to be close. The 1 Immortal. Can we hold? Another Stalker comes in. ArT, he's barely holding on. HiGhDrA, he backs off. He lost his War Prism, is reinforcing from back home. HiGhDrA still has the army advantage. Can he break through? Still so close. Still so close yet so far. Stalker's going to be waddling in. Another Immortal, a second Immortal's on the way, a third Immortal in production. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for HiGhDrA. And HiGhDrA is not transitioning. He is completely all in. One way or another, the game will end. And ArT just amassing more Adepts and Immortals. Now, Adepts, they don't have the most amount of DPS, but they do a great job just tanking shots. Just soaking damage for those Immortals. Enough time has passed. We do have another shield battery. Force fields are available. Once again, we do throw them down. We dive on top of the shield battery. It does get focused. Overcharge will not be a factor, not anymore. Good juggling here from HiGhDrA. And it looks like with reinforcements, with the juggling, we break through. We take down the shield battery. We take down 2 Immortals. There's 1 left. Another shield battery on the high ground. Another shield battery is available. The Prism does arrive. But again, there are just far too many Stalkers. It looks like HiGhDrA, he takes control of the low ground. Takes control of the expansion. Nexus is going to be falling. And this is a big pick-off here. Another big warp in. And yeah, we can just snowball out of control. It's just too much in favor of HiGhDrA. He's pushing up the ramp. There is a force field. Oh. Be careful. There is a force field available. Oof. Take down another one of those units, another sentry. We can see ArT trying to hold on one base. We have a bay on the way for disruptors. But there's no more sentry, no more force field. We can just waddle up the ramp on top of the shield battery. And again, GG gets called. GG gets called. HiGhDrA, he breaks through and he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, I was a little bit concerned, especially after the initial push was deflected. The initial push was defended, but in the end, HiGhDrA does snowball out of control, does take it in the end here, despite the fact that ArT saw it coming. Remember, ArT, he did scout ahead of time, he was aware of what was going on, but the execution of the defense was a little bit lacking there when it came to the force fields, when it came to the reinforcements. ArT was holding barely, but HiGhDrA still just had so much more momentum. I think a big part of it, actually, winding it back, was the adept harass. Like, losing, what was it, 7 probes that early on really does slow you down, especially that early in the game. It does impact your production, it does impact the size of your army. I'm sure if that hadn't happened, we would have had, what, an extra 2-3 units to defend, and every unit counts in that stage. Every unit counts in that defense. So with that, HiGhDrA does take a lead. Does take a lead in the series. And a really strong and surprising start for HiGhDrA. Not gonna lie, again, ArT is the favorite player, but it's a PvP. Anything can happen, Bobby. Anything can happen. Oh boy. As game number 2 is going to be taking place on Golden Aura, we're going to be seeing another all-in. This is a very small map. Could lead to aggression, as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the pink Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes down in this series, looking to fight back. It is ArT. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Roddy from the land of the Netherlands. It is HiGhDrA. Let's go. Istan has redeemed 24-hour stream for 100 channel points. You're an animal. What's our longest cast been? I think our longest cast was 14 hours, I think. If I remember correctly, it was 2020 when we casted the Chilean tournament. There was a rebirth event. Fun fact, we casted a Chilean only tournament and it had 200 players. 200 players, and it lasted 12 hours. It was an insane cast. I casted that alongside Yoda Slim. I think it was a 12-hour cast for one event. There was a 14-hour cast that we did, and it was 14 hours not for the one event, but it was like back to back. No, sorry, I think it was 14 hours for DreamHack. Yeah. I think we did. We were the B stream, and we casted the ESL Masters regionals for. We did Oceania, and then we did Taiwan, Hong Kong, and then we did Europe, and then we did Americas. We did all 4 regions. All 4 regions of ESL Masters, and I think that was like around 14 hours. Yeah. But the difference is, like, ESL Masters is easier because there's a lot of downtime. Like, ESL Masters, it's like 15-minute, like, breaks in between series. Like, there's breaks in between regions. Like, there's a lot of breaks. There's a lot of breaks when you cast DreamHack. But for a lot of these other online events, not as much. Not as much. It's just back-to-back, just non-stop, baby, non-stop. As we have a Proxy Stargate. Proxy Stargate is on the way. Let's go. So this is not an all-in at a HiGhDrA. This is a way to get ahead economically. With a Proxy Stargate, this should be Oracles. So Oracles are going to be zooming across the map to get into the middle line. ArT's going for a Robo-Opener. The turns have been tabled, where HiGhDrA wants to be getting ahead economically, looking to expand. ArT is looking to double down with his own one base all-in. We should be throwing down a third gateway here. And committing? No, my apologies. Wait, ArT, is he going to be expanding? We have options. We can throw down a third gateway and go for an all-in, or we can take a natural base and have a more kind of defensive start instead. Probe Scout is denied. We have Double Stalker moving out, and so far we're in the dark. ArT, he's aware that the pylon is missing. He does see the missing pylon, which does explain the Robo Prism is on the way. ArT takes control of the Zelnaga, does not see that Stargate. HiGhDrA hugging the edge of the map, going straight for the main. And you can see here, ArT, he believes it's an all-in. He's getting ready. Second pylon, shield battery as well. But HiGhDrA's expanding. Remember, this is an economic opener. This is meant to get you into a natural. And ArT, he's overextending. He's overreacting. There we go. We cancel the shield battery. Oracle goes in. We get 2 worker kills. We get the hell out of there. And now ArT realizes what's been going on, and he expands. A late expansion here, but he can counterattack with his Warp Prism. Warp Prism going to be moving out. Does barely avoid those stalkers. And with this prism, we can warp in some adepts, we can shade into the main, and we can kill so many probes. There we go. Adepts are on the way. Meanwhile, across the map, the Oracle did get 2 worker kills, but we're looking for more damage. Pretty big investment. Likewise, HiGhDrA is not ready for the counterattack. The adepts, they're coming in. Oh god. And the adepts on their own may just be too much, as they do slip into the main base. Probes are going to be going down. We force a recall. How many workers do we get? We get 1, we get 2, we get 3. But just 4. Oh, 5. 4 worker kills. And just like that, ArT takes a worker advantage. Very necessary, considering that HiGhDrA did get the faster expansion. So with this adept harass, ArT was able to equalize. Or is equalizing. Stabilizing, if you will. Oh. Oracle threatening a dive. Gets a worker. Denies mining time a little bit longer here, as HiGhDrA is going to be following this up with a Twilight Council. We do see ArT going for Immortal production back at home, and going straight for a Twilight Council of his own. His blink will be later, but not by too much. Ooh, as the Oracle gets shut down. Good defense so far by ArT. Looking at the units lost tab, pretty comparable with each other. Both players are at 30 workers. Blink is on the way. I do kind of want to give the edge to ArT, where both players were going to be working with Blink, but ArT has Immortal production, so his army will be more solid, will be more well-rounded, will be more terrifying. And ArT, he isn't done with the adept harass. The Oracle died, the Prism is still alive. We're shading in. Do pick up a worker. 1 probe goes down, and we don't lose any hull damage. Again, very nicely done by ArT. Behind this, getting his natural up and running, and again, for the most part, things have kind of settled down between our players. Waiting to see a kind of next sign of deviation. Looks like HiGhDrA wants a faster third, but ArT not too far behind with his own. Around the world in 14 hours. Oh, true. We did. We, unironically. We made it, man. That was back before they merged the regions. For those that are curious, the Latin America and the Americas region were merged, and this year, or last year, I guess. And the Oceanic and the rest of Asia, alongside the Taiwanese and China region, were all merged. All merged together. So those marathon casts aren't really a thing anymore. Thankfully. More than happy about that. In a way. We can sleep, Pappy. It's crazy. As both players are going to be dancing with each other, we do dive on top of the Immortals. Oh my god, we take down the Prism. Prism goes down the Immortal as well. But was this dive worth it? The shield battery keeps alive a little bit longer here. Both Immortals fall. But ArT still has an overwhelming army. At the same time, the adepts across the map are wreaking havoc. 7 workers go down. We force a recall. Adepts, they find another worker. Again, all you need is a couple of adepts and you can just wreak havoc and just eviscerate a mineral line. So HiGhDrA, he may have reset the Immortal counts, but ArT, he he has a massive economic lead. There's a massive worker lead here. He is looking to snowball out of control. Takes down a Stalker. Again, from here, ArT just has a massive lead. Going to be taking a 4th base, working towards charge, working towards +1. ArT just getting further ahead. HiGhDrA has some catching up to do. And where do we go from here? How do we catch up? There are options. There's Dark Templar, there's Disruptors, right? You could just try to rush into Purification Novas. Or you could just go all in and try to outposition your opponent with just massive Blink Stalkers. But now HiGhDrA is just reprobing. And it looks like he is oh no, he gets scattered. I was going to say that he's recognized the power of Adepts, and he's going to try to go for his own harass, but he gets caught out. And these Adepts are going to be shut down. Now, we are dragging the army out of position, but you can see that HiGhDrA isn't being active yet. ArT is racing back home, and he should be able to get here in time for HiGhDrA. So ArT is looking to stabilize. +2 is on the way. Massive upgrade advantage here. We do have double forge from HiGhDrA to get into 1-1. There's that Bay on the way. We spoke about it. This is a way to come back, but you need time to make disruptors, and ArT is already here. ArT, he's up 30 army supply. He has a +1, soon to have +2. It gets on top of the 4th base, forces a cancel. And there's not much stopping him from pushing into the 3rd. God, that's so many zealots. Here we go, we're diving on forward here. We blink on top of the army. Overcharge. Well, that's an Artosis pylon. No shots. Cannons are finishing, but everything is depowered. The boys are being pulled. GG gets called, and ArT will tab the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. A very interesting game. There was quite a lot of back and forth. I liked the opener of HiGhDrA to kind of, again, trick his opponent and to force an overreaction out of ArT. It worked. It did work initially. Unfortunately, you know, with the opener of ArT, he went Robo first into a Warp Prism. He went into Adepts, and Adepts, they were the bane of HiGhDrA's existence in that series. Time and time again, Adepts, they just kept getting into Mineral Ions, into bases, and they just tore HiGhDrA apart. GG. GG. With that, we are tied up 1-1. We are getting into game number 3. We are going all the way. As a reminder, this is of course still a best of 5, so plenty of games are ahead of us. Do not fret. Oh. So we're still looking to determine who takes a lead in this series. Will it be one Protoss or the other? Let's go. And spawning into the top right hand corner of 2000 we're back. 2000 atmospheres. We have the pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. Tying up the series 1-1, it is ArT. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands representing Team Roddy. It is HiGhDrA. Here we go. Best Star Wars property in years. I haven't watched any of the... I'll get around to it one day. I have Disney Plus. I have not watched any of these Star Wars shows, like The Mandalorian or the Boba Fett's, the Andor, the Obi-Wan Kenobi. One day I'll get around to it. You know what I miss? Yo, shout out to anyone who remembers the old school Clone Wars. And when I say old school, I mean made by the artist that created Samurai Jack. I'm talking like, I think it was like 2002, 2003. There were like 2 volumes of it. That was my peak childhood. It's beautiful. I wish that would come back. I know that you know, they came out with like the 3D animated Clone Wars like years after that. And they ran with that instead. But the old Samurai Jack like 2D animation Clone Wars, like, oh my god, that was beautiful. The good old days. As we're getting into this, reminiscent of shows gone by. As we do see ArT's going for a 2-gate opener. Once again, we do have HiGhDrA going for a 2-gate opener as well. Probes are going to be scouting each other, confirming that the pylons are where they should be. No proxies, no aggression this time. A straight up PvP. Pink, Polish, but yeah. Exactly. Stalkers are moving out. Again, it's going to be double Stalker opener here from HiGhDrA. We do have Stalker Adept opener out of ArT. With this, he's going to be looking to get across the map. It's not really overly aggressive, just a way to scout, just a way to get across the map a little bit faster and get a read on what is going on. Adept does shade towards that main. So far, going to be able to wall up. Going to be able to hold on. And both players will be skirmishing with each other. We do have a very fast Twilight Council opener here out of ArT, rushing into very fast Blink here. Oh my god. Likewise, HiGhDrA going for a similar opener himself, going for his own Twilight Council, I imagine, for Blink. Going for a faster expansion. And what do I see? I see a 3rd gateway. ArT is going for a 1-base all-in. Okay, so it looks to be, I imagine, a proxy gateway for a 1-base 4-gate Blink all-in here from ArT. We're doubling down. Meanwhile, HiGhDra's going to be defending back at home, getting into his own Blink, setting up on his expansion. Here we go. Here comes that probe from ArT. We should be seeing a pylon and a gateway hidden here at the 3rd base location. Pylon on the way. Samurai Jack was great. It sounds like you haven't seen it, but the creators of Samurai Jack, I say the creators, the artists, I believe, they made a Clone Wars series back in the day. I recommend it. Do recommend it. If you're interested in that sort of thing. As ArT is going to be pushing. He does have an expansion behind this. Did throw down the pylon, didn't throw down the 4th gateway. Okay, so it's going to be 3-gate Blink into an expansion. Not an all-in out of ArT. It is committed, don't get me wrong. Very committed, and we are pushing towards that natural. We could end the game here and now. The pressure is on HiGhDrA to hold. Here we go. The Stalkers have been spotted. We do have a shield battery in position. So, oh god, bit of a mistake there. HiGhDrA, we have to piece it together. Shield battery goes down. Boys are being pulled. We dive on top. Oh, we do soak a shot there. We dive on top of the hallucination. But Stalkers are going down. GG gets called. There is just far too much here, and ArT will take a lead in this series. 2-1. GG. Again, ArT very committed with his 3-gate Blink. Unfortunately, HiGhDrA just took him a little bit too long to piece together what was happening there. He did go for a much more economic opener. HiGhDrA, fun fact, he didn't just go for the expansion and for the probes. He also went for a Forge +1. He was just working on that next step and was caught with his pants down. Was not ready whatsoever for that kind of aggression. GG. And with that, ArT is 1 game away from qualifying for the OSC Championships. Meanwhile, HiGhDrA, can we bring it back? Can we force an ace match? We've been getting a lot of ace matches so far tonight. We could see it again. Here we go. So we are getting into... Oh, our next map for the first time in a long time. It is not 2000 atmospheres. It is Gressvan. Ah. Pretty sure I vetoed this map, but it's fine. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have our pink Polish Protoss player leading the series 2-1. One game away from taking the entire series here, qualifying for the OSC Championships. It, for the Platinum Heroes, is ArT. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing the land of the Netherlands, representing Team Roddy. It is HiGhDrA. I like that ArT always goes for the pink Protoss. Unorthodox color. Yeah, always pink. Always pink. A lot of the Polish Protoss players, they mix in pink or purple. It's all about the alliteration. You need it, Bobby. You need it. If you're Protoss and you're Polish, you have to be pink or purple. It's the law. Oh. As ArT is going to be moving out with his first probe, we'll keep our eye on it. HiGhDrA likewise pushing through the center, coming in for a bit of a scout. I imagine ArT is going to be proxying his gateway. Oh my god, my brain was flooded with memories. This used to be a very common proxy location in PvP. In between these steam vents or next to these rocks, proxy robos were so commonplace here. I remember that like it was like 70 or 80% of the time in PvPs we would see proxies and all-ins on Gressvan. It hasn't even been that long, but we'll see if that's going to be the case. For the time being, HiGhDrA throws down his second pylon, and likewise so does ArT. Everything is where it should be. Everything is looking normal. Used to watch Samurai Jack religiously. They brought back like a new season, didn't they, to like end it? I haven't watched it. I haven't. One day. One day when we're not casting so much StarCraft, I'll be able to sit down and I can watch some shows, some programs on the telly. We'll get there. For now, a very safe opener out of HiGhDrA. Going to be going for a sentry-based opener. As we have mentioned in the past, it is a very safe way to play in PvP just because of the scouting information that you have. As HiGhDrA is going for his expansion. Meanwhile, ArT's going to be going for a bit of an aggressive opener. It is going to be a Stargate. Now with this, we can go for a fast Oracle, and our goal is to get across the map and to deal economic damage and to get ahead in said economy. ArT going to be taking his expansion. HiGhDrA delays his expansion, going for a faster Twilight Council, so rushing into Blink is going to be his opener. Faster Twilight Council into the expand. Hallucination is moving out across the map, and we should get eyes on the Stargate. We should get eyes on the Oracle. There we go, Phoenix comes in. We do get eyes. There we go. The Stargate, the Oracle has been spotted. We are aware, and we should be getting ready. We should be getting in position. There we go. The Stalkers, they do maneuver in between the mineral line. As that happens, though, the depth does shade in. Big scout from ArT. He does get eyes on the Twilight Council. He's aware of Blink. He's aware it is on the way. So a good scout so far here from ArT. Oracle doesn't mindlessly go into the main. He's aware that the Stalkers are in position. He's aware he got scouted. So ArT is going to be chilling here outside the bases. It's going to be waiting outside the natural. Could be piecing or pulling together another Oracle. Now, 2 Oracles do one-shot workers, so even if there's a shield battery, workers will still fall. As ArT is working on his third gateway. And HiGhDrA, just like the previous game, very similar, where it's Blink Stalkers into the Forge into +1. Let up shade in. The Oracles, they dive into the middle line. They get 4 probe kills already. Oh, a bit of miscontrol there from ArT. Does take some extra hits, but regardless, does keep his Oracles alive. And does get 4 worker kills in total. A good start for ArT. And just like that, you can see how much of a lead ArT has. He had a faster expansion, better economy. He is up 4 workers. And we're not done. These Oracles, they regenerate their shields. They can go back in for a second time. For a second round. Now, as the game progresses, even though HiGhDrA does have a slightly worse economy, he will have better Stalkers. +1 is on the way. He will have a timing where he can hit with +1 and even +2 thereafter. Meanwhile, ArT being very active with his army, moving out with an abundance of Stalkers already. 3 gateways here. HiGhDrA going for a gateway explosion. That's going to be 5 gates in total. ArT taking a 3rd base instead. So ArT focusing on his economy. HiGhDrA looking to go for potentially a 2-base all-in. Stalkers push forward. Immortal is revealed. Depth shade in. We're going to get a couple of probe kills. 3 workers go down. Oh my god, did I say 3? 4 workers go down. The Oracles, they race back home. A good amount of counter damage just like that. HiGhDrA evens up the worker counts. But remember, still no 3rd base. HiGhDrA just doubling down here on aggression. Fun fact, ArT technically does have the higher Stalker count. And he could take a fight, especially if HiGhDrA is lured into one of these stasis traps. Here we focus down one of the sentries. Good pickoff. 3rd base getting up and running. The longer this goes on, the better it is for ArT. Now he's going into his own gateways. HiGhDrA working on +2. I believe HiGhDrA... Ooh, he doesn't see the stasis trap, actually. He has the observer, but he's not aware. Glaives is on the... Yeah, we're going all in. Glaives is on the way. Again, doesn't really have too much longevity in this. I love that there's a real and a fake Immortal. ArT is working towards Chargers and Archons. HiGhDrA going to be doubling down on Glaives. Those are curious. Glaives doesn't really scale well into the mid to late game. It is just a good way to buffer for your Immortals. As we throw down 3 more gates. Yeah. 8 gates in total. It's going to be 2-base, 8-gate all-in out of HiGhDrA. And ArT should be aware that something is wrong, especially because he sees the lack of 3rd. Doesn't see how many gateways, but he can assume where the money has been spent. And he's just amassing a Charger Archon composition back at home. Prism is on the way. With the arrival of this War Prism, we should be pushing. HiGhDrA should be moving out. It's all or nothing. Up. Up. You can see ArT, he wants to trigger those shields, if possible. A lot of sentries have been built. So many force fields. The Immortals need the charge. To pull back, there is a stasis trap. Up, up, and we do run in. Big stasis here, catching, what is that, 6 Stalkers. Half the Stalker count does get caught. HiGhDrA going to commit to his push. ArT getting in position. How many Zealots do we have? 22 Zealots. Oh my god. That's a lot of fake Archons, let me tell you. Stasis trap will get triggered. Again, ArT buying time. Remember, time is on his side. Additional warp-ins on the way. We can see HiGhDrA repositioning, but he's running into another stasis. Oh, does focus it down. We can see that ArT is going to be collapsing on this army. will shut it down. At the same time, HiGhDrA coming in from the right-hand side. Again, so many fake units here. Can he pull this off? Charge on them breaking through the force fields. They do nothing. We shut down the War Prism. We can focus on the Immortals one after the other. They are real. They are no longer there. GG gets called. ArT swallows up the army. And ArT will take the series 3-1, qualifying for the OSC Season 11 Championship. GG. GG, well played. I appreciate HiGhDrA trying to mix in hallucinations and try to fake out or even bait out some big shots and bait out some volleys. But again, the 2-base all-in took a long time to get going. ArT had so much time to prepare, to throw down stasis traps left and right all over the map, to set up shield batteries, to amass stalkers, to amass zealots. And again, he did have this superior army coming into it. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations. Congratulations to ArT for making it out over HiGhDrA. Big shout out to HiGhDrA, of course. Did fight his heart out and was able to was able to force a series out of it and take a game. And with that, we are getting ready for our next series here. We have one qualifying match left. It all ends here. Let's go. We're almost done, Papi. We're almost done. One more PvP here. As, oh god.